Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the fucking money, shithead?
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Saturday, Donnie, is Shabbos, the Jewish day of rest. That means that I don't work, I don't drive a car, I don't fucking ride in a car, I don't handle money, I don't turn on the oven, and I sure as shit don't fucking roll! Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Welcome, my lovely friends, to a glorious, I'm gonna count it, lucky 13 episode of the Good Talk podcast. We are here tonight. We are coming off a massive episode with Jessica Parizek in our last edition.
That was so much fun.
We're really pumped about how that all turned out. She's a great, great person and really cool to have her on. My friends, I'm Jonah Lanto. This is the Good Talk podcast. I have my partner in crime, Mr. Chris Rubb.
Hi.
And we have a very rad guest with us tonight. It is someone many of you know and others who you do not, and she is here to share with us the wonders of the music festival world, what that experience means, how numerology can tie into your life, and does astrology have any real effect on who or what you are. I have with us today Carly Lantto.
Hey guys.
Festi
Good to
Carl.
be here.
Festi Carl. This is the Carl Cast.
All right.
The Carl Cast podcast, music festival cast. It's going to be fun, and we are excited to be here. And of course, you can find us on Twitter. We're at the Good Talk 5. Let us know what you think. Interact with our questions. Give us your ideas, and we'll help you manifest them here at the Good Talk. iTunes, we're the Good Talk, all one word. Subscribe, review. We love you if you do that. For some people, I understand maybe it's a pain in the ass. I know Rubb was even just having a dick of a time.
I'm not a fan. I've been trying, and maybe I'm not that bright.
It was like trying to shit with a boner.
What the fuck?
That was, like, really.
It sort of was.
For you, I was watching
really,
him trying to
I'm
get onto
honest.
iTunes and figure out how he can be a part of this, and he doesn't have an iPhone advice or any iAdvice or Apple device. So
No.
if you do, just help us be cool.
Throw us a freaking bone here.
Yeah, throw us a bone. We'll throw you one back. We're gonna open this Good Talk up with a riveting. Carl, I know you know how this works. We're gonna fucking slam your face into the wall of your own soul with 5 questions that divide the world as you know it.
But in a loving way.
No
in
kidding.
a completely loving way.
Yeah.
As loving as a face slam can possibly
Yeah.
be.
Into
we'll
your own
see
soul.
about this.
Into your own soul was
Right.
the end of that sentence.
Okay.
You can't misconstrue that.
There
The ending.
are no third options.
The
There
back
are no
end.
third options
yeah.
and no wrong ansers.
All
The
right.
back end is more important than the
Apparently,
front end.
unless
right
you go against Jonah, and then you're wrong.
And then you are wrong, and
Boy.
we do have a guillotine. It's kept in the spare room. We'll fucking send you. Rubb will command it.
I'll take that job.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
This will not happen.
He won't.
Someone's got
He
to.
won't drop the guillotine, but he'll issue the command.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. After me.
Although I should pay homage to Neddard Stark, and if I give the order, I should be the guy doing it.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
No, it's true. All right, open us up with a powerful first question here on the Good Talk 5, my
Here
friend.
we go.
Carly, would you rather speak to animals or speak all human languages?
Oh, that is an excellent question.
Holy fuck.
I mean, before you
I
had
got
out,
drunk the other night and came up with that one.
yeah, before you
Good
had
for
out
you.
all human languages, I was like, yeah, animals for sure. That'd
Right.
be really, really neat.
Good for your dumb, dull, drunk
God,
mind.
I mean, both would be extremely beneficial to you. I mean,
They're both
you would
great.
have no language barrier anywhere between, I don't know, any of the environments with the animals. But I think, honestly, I don't know, probably humans. I'd go with speaking all languages.
I think you can get a lot more done.
I definitely would speak all languages on Earth. I think that I wouldn't run into any roadblocks or language barriers, and
Right.
could learn everything. I would always know what was going on around me in a foreign country, and
What a great tool to be able to connect with your fellow man.
but also at the same time, I can teach myself to learn all of those languages. I mean, a lot of learning and teaching would go into that. So I mean, you really can't teach yourself to communicate with all animals. Like
Right.
that is a gift.
Yeah.
That is a gift.
I didn't look at it that way. That's a good point.
Yeah. So I don't
You
know.
can't possibly learn to talk
and
to
I can't do
to-
both.
Right.
I mean, I think ultimately, I'm gonna
really-
change my answer. I'm gonna go with animals.
Oh, flip-flop.
I'm totally flip flopping.
It's so sad. I really feel my lizard will to dominate all things, calling toward the option for speaking to animals. I'm like, man, I will turn this motherfucker into Planet of the Apes. I will rule. I will talk to all the fucking monkeys. I'll teach them things. I'll connect them to language. I will be their ruler and their god. Then in turn, we'll turn the lions onto our team, and all the lions will speak up, and we'll get the elephants on board. And before anybody knows it,
You've put a lot of thought into this, haven't you?
You can't go anywhere because I am on a level with these animals where I am with them and I understand their will to survive, and now I can coordinate their intelligence. In my mind, if I can talk to all animals, that means I can unify their intelligence under mine, and we can all speak together, and I can connect to their network. I'd be able to connect to every fucking animal network and unify them under my fucking flag, and it would be the flag of humanity, except for I'd be using the animals to crush many aspects of humanity that were fucking
no
things
ego
up.
in that response whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, well, I would start with from a point of benevolence. I would take over like all the animals, and I would hope to maybe save the rainforest type of thing, save the
no
assholes
more
polluting the
endangered
ocean.
species
Shit,
at all.
like I mean, what if?
Help
That's a
them
valid
fight
answer.
back. Help them fight back against the humans.
I'm not just saying like, I'm going to take control and enslave
Level the playing
people,
field
but
a
I would
bit.
want to maybe level the
Right.
playing field of destruction that is happening toward specifically rainforest. It's crazy. There's still species we haven't discovered yet hiding in there. There's groups of humans in these rainforests that are completely untouched by all of life as we know it.
Right.
They are
like
still
you guys were talking about the pink
living
dolphin.
in the Stone Age.
As the Amazon River dolphin.
Yeah, that's totally not.
So-
It's a creepy looking little fucker.
I bet lurking.
While in the world and reality as we know it now, applying the ability to speak all human languages would make you valuable. It would make you hireable. It would make you rich. It would make you virtually anything you wanted. However, I don't know. I feel like maybe the change I would want to influence could be more realized through speaking with all animals. I mean, you're talking all the fish. Do I get insects? Or no?
Nah.
No, they're not. They don't qualify, right?
I guess there would have to be just vocalizations. So yeah, it doesn't like if it can't talk, then how could you talk?
But
to
I mean,
it?
I'm getting birds. I'm getting
Right.
Dolphins, everything in the
dolphins,
ocean, everything in the ocean,
all
everything in the
like the
sky.
bobcats and lynxes, and
Sure, why
if
not?
there's a Sasquatch out there,
Right.
I'm getting him.
right.
I'll pull the Sasquatches out from the trees, and they will become a part of my army, and it will be an army of the
really
people.
going deep on this. I love it.
Oh
Right.
man, and under this unified Sasquatch animal army of Jonah Lanto,
With lions and
people,
chimpanzees, it's going to be great.
it's gonna be great. The chimpanzees will ride into battle on top of the lions, and we will take down all the fucking terrible things.
Wow. I'll buy that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
I'm on
if you-
board.
Raise your hand right
Yeah.
now, wherever you're sitting, if you want to fucking speak to
I'm on
animals
board.
after
I
all
want to
that.
do that.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can't.
on board with
How
that.
can you turn away from that?
No, you can't.
Right.
No,
I'm
that
so
would be
happy
magical.
you asked that question,
And
Chris.
somehow,
Really
like a
good one.
connection with animals, it just seems a lot more intimate than just any old other connection with a human.
It's
I mean,
just
you
something
can
that's
have
never been
meet.
done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
have
well, you think you can
linguists
have
now.
your moments or your
Like
connections.
Coco the
with
gorilla is probably the closest we've gotten. She speaks speaks sign language
And
pretty
okay.
fluently.
And I know scientifically we've gotten far enough to discover for sure that dolphins have a language.
Yes, and
that-
dialects even.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Like accents based on where
Yes.
they're from, like we do.
Specific languages and accents to their language based upon what part of the ocean
Yes,
they hang out in.
That's
kind of
fascinating.
confirmed. Yeah.
Scientific fact.
Yeah.
I fucking love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're all animals then.
Yeah.
Right.
Rob, animals?
Animals.
Animal
for sure.
Kingdom,
I love it.
hands down.
As if I needed talking into it. You did that.
There you go, man. What if all their animal instincts invaded your mind and you became primal, though? And you couldn't fucking control like those crazy primal instincts, and you just had to.
I feel like I'm
somebody's throat
circling
out
that
once
drain
in a
already.
while. What do you got for question 2, my friend?
Let's see here. Would you prefer to always know when someone is lying to you, or always get away with lying yourself?
Oh fuck.
I would always want to know if someone was lying to me, even though I feel like I have a pretty keen intuition and,
Right.
you know, I mean, the better you know a person, the more you know if they're lying or not. But I definitely would rather. I don't need to lie. There's no reason to. So I would much rather know if somebody was lying to me, I think.
It's a fine answer. I knew better than to ask someone so altruistic as yourself, Carl.
Thanks.
Man.
Yeah.
Again, man, I just feel that deviation.
Oh,
Yeah.
That little
It's devil's advocate.
It's palpable
Jonah.
in the room now.
It's funny because there was a question I wanted to ask maybe once, like what was more important, casual lies or blatant truths?
Right.
And I don't know. I think
Or
that
beautiful lies are comfortable truths, or beautiful lies are painful truths. That's a hard one.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah, there you go. Because if I mean, what if you can share that beautiful lie to spare a painful truth?
Sure.
And what if you can? Is there a way to be poetic about lying, or is it just lying is lying? Because I don't know that all the time it's like super black and white.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not. It's on the surface it appears to be, but it's one of those questions that gets, the more you try to pick it apart, the more you can come up with examples where, yes, you could say, oh, that is a lie, but it's kind of okay in this instance. But then you always have to go back and like check yourself. Well, I try to be good and I try to be a good person, and in that regard, like all lies are bad.
What is more complex, the lie or the truth?
Well, oftentimes the lie is far more complex than the
I would
truth.
say the lie is more complex.
It's harder to
most
remember.
Of the time.
I think it was Mark Twain says that I speak the truth because it's so hard to remember a lie or something. I never have to remember.
Keeping up with your lies, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have to remember if I don't lie.
Mm-hmm. Or what the lie was.
No,
like
that's
that.
definitely
It's a good quote.
That's definitely out of the Twain wheelhouse.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I don't know. I definitely would rather have, I guess, every time that I just had to lie about something, that people would believe me. I'm going with it.
Yeah, I
guess, or don't be dumb. I would sort of rather, I guess, rely on and that also is an ability of, where do you think your strength is? In your ability to lie yourself, or in your ability to tell if somebody else is lying? Because it's not to say everybody's a liar or you always have to lie,
right.
but in life, shit's gonna come up, and you
Right.
gotta. Is lying a part of diplomacy, or does it all have to be genuine and truthful?
And where do you draw the line at where a line? Is sugarcoating the truth technically a lie, or like do you just have to tell it? Like, is it got to be 100% straightforward, God honors the truth in order to be the truth, and anything else is technically a lie?
I know someone who
Seems like a pretty devout definition of a lie to me.
Like, no matter how far they are from where you are, and they have to come get you, say like a Grandma Helen, or just there's different people out there in the world.
Are they always 5 minutes away?
Yes, they're always fucking 5 minutes away.
That
And
sounds
you
good.
know they're lying to
Right,
you.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
fucking lie.
Yeah.
You know when you tell someone you're 5 minutes away, you're a fucking liar. And you always do it. I've done it.
Like that's sort of the lie difference. Are you lying, or are you just full of shit?
Fuck, it's a bit of
Like
both.
full of shit though has a bit of a harmless connotation to
but
it, whereas a
imagine-
lie has a harmful connotation.
Imagine if every time you told somebody, "Hey, I'm 5 minutes away," they were like,
They actually
"Oh,
believed
okay.
you.
Fuck,
And
oh,
scheduled
cool.
their life accordingly.
I feel so good about that. You're gonna be here in 5 minutes. Fuck, I'm gonna get my shoes on.
And I will
Grabbing all my shit.
Syncing our watches now. 3, 2, 1.
And then like 17.
And they're outside 5 minutes later, like WTF, bro.
right? You're sitting on the patio waiting. Like 17 fucking minutes later, It's not gonna work.
And you roll up thinking everything's fine.
Well, and then all you have to say is, "Fuck, dude, I would have been here on time, but you're never gonna believe this. I just fucking saved 3 kids in a burning orphanage."
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, you're a hero!"
There was
Because they believe
ninjas
you're
and
lying.
a guy on
Oh yeah,
fire.
you're gonna be like, "You didn't know this, but I'm actually a ninja.
Right.
I'm never gonna show you my skills in real life, but
No, that goes against my code.
it's way if I were to show you my
In
ninja
fact, I've already
skills,
said too much.
you'd have to die." I mean, that's the reality. So that's why I would be the liar in this choice.
Okay.
Rob, I'm going.
So you'd always get away with lying.
I would always get away with lying,
Okay.
and I would just use it in the silliest fucking ways.
Right.
Right. You could
Like,
definitely have fun with
I would
it.
use it to scare the shit out of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could...
I would fucking just set people up for the worst scares of their life.
Yeah, you gotta think, like, if you always get away with lying...
Where do you, there's no limit.
Does that mean
Come
that
on.
if you lie about something that's physically impossible, that thing becomes physically possible? You know what I'm saying? Because
in
you
everyone
have to get
else's
away with
mind.
it. I don't know.
In somebody else's mind.
Yeah, you're just
Right.
creating a mass hallucination. There you
Yeah,
go.
you could compel mass hallucination
Yeah.
through lie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's getting to a whole new level.
Woo.
How
You're
could
like
you not be a liar
hypnotic.
in that choice? How could you not choose the lie choice? Oh, so what? Oh, you can tell if anybody's telling the truth. Who gives a shit? Look how I can. Look what I can do with this.
If they're lying and you know that, then you make them own up to their truth. And maybe more often than not these days, people lie more often.
No, it's true.
It's an idealistic thing to make them own up to their truth and really reflect on that and work on the integrity within themselves.
I am by no means encouraging lying, but
Right,
if it were
right.
if it were a
I
superpower
kinda
to
am.
that degree, the subtle manipulations, you know.
Lie to me.
Put a little lie in your heart.
Lie to me.
So let's throw some of the festival love into the conversation tonight, and I want to know, when you are at a festival and you've ridden out the glory of the day and you're riding the vibrational wavelengths of the festival energy into the spirit realm of the next consciousness that will receive your soul at whatever stage you want to end your night with. What stage do you find yourself at? Is it the jam stage, or is it the electronic stage? Where are you going? I know a lot of people in the third option world who can go fuck themselves would say, I want to be down in the little jungle one on the side, and those are beautiful too. But right now,
Right.
Are you going to the jam stage at the end, or are you going to the electronic stage? What happens at the end of your festival experience?
Jam stage for sure at the end of the night. I mean,
Yeah.
Electronic is to get you all hyped
Yeah.
up in the beginning and in the middle.
That's
and
early
then,
evening stuff.
Yeah, and then you're mellowing out near the end. Not necessarily totally mellowing out, but you know, you're just all loosened up from being freaky and weird and electronic and crazy. And
So
I would
at
totally
midnight-
go. I would want to be in the jam atmosphere for sure. You know, I've seen Bassnectar a lot of times. I really regret not going and seeing Humphreys McGee when we were at Wakarusa, when we had Bassnectar and Humphreys at the same time. And I had a feeling, but I didn't want to go alone.
So
and
what
me-
happened? Tell everybody about that. Where were you at? What do you mean, Bassnectar or Humphreys? Where were you? What happened?
Well,
Like,
so
give us an
Wakarusa,
exposition.
Wakarusa, yeah, that takes place down in the Ozark Mountains there in Arkansas. It's absolutely beautiful. That was a really fun,
Love it.
Mulberry
fun
Mountain.
festival. Yeah, Mulberry Mountain.
Mulberry.
Yeah. But that was actually the night we decided to give VIP just for that one day, and it was totally worth it because we were right up close. I mean, Edward Sharp played earlier that day. It was an entire day. You know, beautiful summer, early June day.
When we were in the VIP, it was really cool. We were literally could touch the stage. Essentially, it was within an arm's reach. And during Edward Sharp and the Magnetic
came off the
Zeros,
stage.
he came off the stage
Sat
and
in the
had like a
circle.
little fucking powwow and sat in the circle. And Carl got right in the circle.
Yeah,
It
man,
was
we
beautiful.
made eye contact a few times. You just feel
It's a
like
magical festival
a
moment.
superhuman in that moment. It was beautiful. Yeah.
So
it was
carrying
magical.
forward, you ended up at Bassnectar.
Yeah, later on that night, we ended up freaking out at Bassnectar. But before, I think was that, because VIP night was the night that
string cheese into
string cheese
Bassnectar.
incident, and that's when it finally fucking clicked for me. Like, string cheese had this huge following, and
That
I'm
was
like,
your
well,
first string cheese show.
yes, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, what's the big hype about him? I never listened to him before, and I just didn't know if this whole following of them was just a trendy thing, because a lot of the times that's what it could be. So I was kind of skeptical, but open-minded at the same time, if that makes sense. And anyway, yeah, they opened for Bassnectar, and I just remember looking around the crowd, and it's just like all these crazy, awesome melodic sounds in the background, and everybody's floating around in their happy little world and just getting along, and there's no bad vibe there at all, and everybody's just free and
There's
dancing.
glowing electric creatures floating
Yeah.
around. The octopuses
Yeah.
that people are like butterflies.
Everything.
It's absolutely magical.
Yes.
The energy in the air.
It's such a
is
culture shock the first time you're put in that situation.
And I'm like, I
Nothing
finally
can prepare you for
for
that.
the cheese, man. For
fucking
the string
get
cheese
it.
incident.
I get it.
And-
the cheese.
The
like,
cheese.
The cheese.
And their music is so textural. And
Yeah.
it's so deep. There's so much going on.
There's so much going on, yeah.
It's easy to get overwhelmed with it, but
like lost within it. I mean, like
yeah.
you transcend being human at that point, and you're just part of the music and part of the energy within everybody else. You know,
well, and
everybody's synced in and tuned into it, and it's beautiful.
A huge part of why we got the VIP for that specific day was to get close, and it was because of the cheese. It was because of Edward Sharp.
I'm so happy we
Rain
did.
Wolf was that day. There was a bunch of incredible artists that we got to see, like up close and personal, who we were really there for. And then, of course, at the end of the night, it was Bassnectar and Humphreys McGee. And we have a lot of love and a lot of positivity and amazing, fucking awesome moments from Bassnectar shows. And a big part of us,
prior, for sure.
for years prior. I mean, we've gone out of our way to see Bassnectar at Bass Center
I get it
and
now,
out
guys.
at the Gorge.
It's like we were little bees going.
Yeah, oh my God, I'll never forget that. We're all going for the nectar. It's like we're all going to the high.
Bassnectar, guys.
Yeah, that one was at Sasquatch. That was huge. We could hardly hear the bass. There was so many people around that stage.
The first ever
Wow.
Glowpocalypse.
That's what it was. Yep, you're right.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
My
gosh.
At Wakarusa, we wanted to really be in the end of the show, the fucking Bassnectar family photo.
Yeah, I mean, you got in there.
And we did absolutely get in there. I've been in 2, and I think that's awesome. I'm sure there's people that have been in 100, and I'm proud of you because it's fucking not easy to be up there.
No, it's not like a cheese crowd at all.
I don't know that like I respect like the rail camping that some people have gotten to at certain festivals. I don't know how I feel about that, where they want to rail camp so they can be there for like that moment. I have an equal amount of like distaste and respect for it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I need to be experiencing everything.
To literally just be sitting there in front of the rail all day, even in front of people who are there to see like whatever other band is on stage. It just seems kind of tacky.
Oh,
right.
Like rail riding.
All day.
All day.
I thought you were just referring to
even
during the show.
Oh, no.
During the show, that's
during the
fine.
show.
They'll wait for
But
hours.
like, if you sit there all day just trying to be up front for Bassnectar, you're a dick.
Kind of like for people that want to see like whatever other awesome band that could be on. So we stayed for Bassnectar.
Yes, we
and
did.
What do you think? You wish you would have saw Humphreys?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just think that all the bands that I seen before, and then Bassnectar was just something so different. And I hadn't seen Humphreys before, and I'd already seen Bassnectar. But again, I just didn't want to get like lost in the craziness and not be able to find you guys. So I stayed in. I enjoyed Nectar to an extent, but it was a whole different album.
That was the
and
weakest Nectar show that we have ever seen.
Yeah,
honestly. And
I just wasn't feeling
we've
it.
seen
I
more
wasn't
than our fair share, but I felt like that was the weakest Nectar show that we have ever seen.
Well, we were primed up and tuned into like a whole different musical sphere, and then it was like Nectar came on, and it was just like it didn't work for me, and I'm like, I don't even enjoy this crowd anymore. Like, we should be at Humphreys. And then Jonah went to an Humphreys show. Yeah, I would totally go back and change that if I could. But I mean, that festival was awesome nonetheless. Like, we still had a great time regardless, and that night
Nectar was amazing. Don't
that
get me
night
wrong,
was fucking
folks,
insane, and Adventure Time was freaking out after Humphreys, and it was a wild night for sure still. But I definitely know that that night would have been a lot cooler if I got to see Humphreys for sure.
Oh, you
for sure.
No, trust me, because the next year we went and we made the choice to be at Humphreys over whatever other band. I think it was Big Gigantic, and we caught the tail end of Big Gigantic after seeing Humphreys, something like that.
Okay.
And all amazing artists.
Oh, in 15?
Yeah,
it was Big G.
Like
yeah, that would have been
15
15 because we were there in 14.
We saw the entirety of Humphreys. Whoever was on stage.
We saw all of Humphreys, and then we caught the tail end of Big
amazing.
G, and then whoever played after Big G.
That was like the amalgamation of artists, like the total underground apocalypse. I don't know.
Shit like
it was fucking awesome, and I'm kind of with Carl here. And again, there's no wrong answer. I definitely want to find myself in this day and age. I want to be seeing at midnight. I want to be at Humphreys or Twiddle. Or Earfunk or whatever, pick one, whatever other really excellent fucking jam band that you can kind of shift in there that I like. Kung Fu would also be really cool to see. There's a lot of great examples. Plenty of excellent bands, although I don't find myself to be as much of a Lotus fan where some other people really are.
I saw Big
STS9. If it's like Sound Tribe, if it's like fucking Sound Tribe Sector 9 or any band
they're
X. It's
pretty fucking awesome.
Again, for me, I was like, I get it. I finally get it why they're so amazing.
Yeah.
After seeing them live.
What was
They are so good.
Rub, what was your first Sound Tribe Sector 9 experience?
Wakarusa 15 main stage. That would have been Friday night.
Okay.
And then they
Tell
did
me a little
the,
bit
under
about
the
that.
tent on Saturday. Oh yeah, because we had VIP the whole weekend, and we have like a section in front of every stage that's like not just roped off but like fenced off for VIP, and yeah, I got like front and center, and I think everyone I was with had seen Sound Tribe before.
Oh, it was your first time.
But like my first time.
It changed things for you because you've gone out of your way to see them a bunch of times now since then.
Oh yeah, I have actually.
That's
Come
what
to
I
think
mean.
of it,
Like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you,
oh for sure,
you became kind of a super fan in that moment. You have
For sure,
You
yeah.
have like their collectors' jerseys,
Yep.
several of them.
all three of them that they
Um,
dropped last summer. I
What
got those.
what was like like that key moment at their show? Was it when we pulled back around and saw like the finale? I swear to God, if you get far away enough and when Sound Tribe Sector 9 has their lights dialed in, you see like a spinning alien mothership.
It makes
it's like a top.
whole this geometric thing going on that's ineffable.
It's there.
It's that artifact from the fourth dimension that we talked about.
Yes.
Oh my
we don't
God.
know what it
We don't
is,
know what it
but
is.
it's got our attention. Let's just say that. Yeah, I mean, we started like right on the rail, VIP, and you know the just the artistry of Sound Tribe, the way they come in, the way they they really warm you up. They get you, they get you focused, they get you on that same wavelength, and then they take you for their ride. You know,
Yep.
it's just very much their show. They're so good at that. And we started there like the first couple songs, really get tuned into it, and then like Jonah said, I had never seen them before, so I was just being buried by being so close. And he says, what you need to do is get back.
It was actually Jimmy
get back
T,
out into
our old hippie buddy Jimmy Thompson.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember
fucking
you telling
mentioned
me
that.
about
He's
him.
such a good
He was
dude.
the one that was like, all right, guys, it's time to move to the back. He
Yeah.
knew. Our old hippie buddy.
you
he's
can't
seen him a
appreciate
bunch.
Sound Tribe
Jimmy Thompson,
up close
old
like
deadhead.
that.
Fucking love him.
Okay.
He's a veteran. He's amazing.
You can appreciate the sounds,
Yeah.
but you can't appreciate the
whole
performance,
show.
the
Yeah.
experience they're putting on is like trying to watch TV when you're an inch away from it. You don't know what you're looking at. When you step away, it becomes this whole other thing. It's that fourth dimensional artifact. That's totally what it is.
There is a visual and audio synchronicity that occurs, and it's by design.
Definitely, yeah, yeah.
And it's an amazing experience. I know, Carl, you kind of had your first experience there with them as well.
I didn't want to leave after they were done. You're like,
Right.
we gotta go to the bathroom,
You're
Carly.
just
And I was
swimming
like,
in it.
it's over. Like, I don't want to leave this spot. It's
No.
just like I was just so resonating in all of that. I didn't want to leave it.
Well,
But of course, you carry it with you. But it was just
They leave
so
your mind swimming.
powerful.
It's
yeah,
an actual experience.
Yes,
it's not
it
just a
is.
show.
it is
It's an experience. It takes you like through, emotions and things like that.
Yes.
It's an actual. It's a trip.
right.
It's a trip.
It is.
it's a journey.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And we rode in it after a really tear-jerking emotional ride of Michael Franti and Spearhead that year when Carly was there. Literally,
I'm sorry I missed that. Michael Franti's awesome.
yeah,
I was surprised.
He came up. He told us his amazing story about his son,
Yeah.
how his son had survived this crazy disease, and it was very emotional. And I'm a father. I'm connecting with this. I was in tears. He played the song that he dedicated to his son.
His son came out and played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
That's so cool.
And then all of a sudden he was in the crowd and we were like, what?
And
What the
came
fuck? There he is. Holy
he came
shit.
right by us in the crowd.
I've never seen Franti live, but seriously, like, it's good shit. I love Franti.
Yeah, I
And
reached
then-
out like a crazy fan and I touched his stomach. I don't know why. He was just there and I had to touch him like a weirdo.
Dude,
you know? And then
you
he
had
looked
to.
at me and I just smiled like, oh, hey. Yeah, that was me.
dude, look out after that show. Michael Franti came around to the rails, and I was
Oh, yeah.
right there, and
Our picture.
he did like the bro shake with me, and I told him, and I was like, the song. I was like, I'm a father. The song about your son. It really hit me. It melted me to tears. It was a very strong inspiration. I just said, thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And he embraced me. And he took
he
one
did.
step away and he turned back around and then he full double arm hugged me again and he held me for a second. And I fucking
That was
dude,
real.
I shed a tear right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
That's a performer who gives a damn.
Yeah.
That's somebody who's actually got something to say.
Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Has an emotional investment.
And then we had a picture with him,
That's great.
We rode that into Sound Tribe Sector 9. You know, those energies. We rode that into our
this
first.
crazy kid next to me for Sound Tribe too. That was his 56th show. There were these like weird little punks from Arkansas, but that was his 56th show or Louisiana or something.
The last time I saw them,
crazy followers
in October, I was standing next to a guy who saw it was something like that, right around 50.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like,
that's nuts.
I've seen him,
and it doesn't get old for him.
5
It does not
times.
get old.
Here's the deal. Like there are certain little epicenters you can live in, obviously, where you could see them 5 times in a 3-hour radius. If you were, or in 5 times in even like a 2 to 6 hour radius. You know, just like a drive. So
they'll tour through and stop at 5 venues in a week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're in the right hemisphere, it makes it pretty easy.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. I wish I could do that. If we didn't live in North Dakota, there'd of course be those little places we could live in that would grant us that access. I've lived an entire life driving hours and hours and hours to see the shows and the music I loved. I come from that background of having to drive, at least 2 to 3 hours to see a show. More often, way more than that.
Yeah, Sasquatch 17 and a half hours. But, I mean, there's no other venue like the Gorge. There just isn't. I mean, the land there just holds, like, such a powerful energy. And just seeing anybody perform there, especially on the main stage when you have the Gorge in the background and the huge, beautiful Columbia River like that. Again, that's an experience. It's just insane. Gary Clark Jr. just tore my mind to bits with his, like, guitar shredding. That was crazy.
Foo Fighters on that main stage.
Yeah, and they're dual. I always tell everybody about the drummer and the guitarist duel.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Like, Foo Fighters is a lot of people, might just whatever. They are amazing, and Dave Grohl is a treasure.
I think there's a level of talent the Foo Fighters have that isn't truly displayed in their radio hits.
Yeah,
and I don't want to undermine how good those radio hits are.
They put on a way better show than their hits would lead on.
Yeah, what I'm sort of saying is, like, I always liked the Foo Fighters, but I didn't love them, and I never disliked them.
Right. I agree
never
with that
liked
too.
them enough to buy their albums, but I liked them enough that I enjoyed their music. There were certain times I would play their music on the jukebox.
Sure.
I would never bitch if somebody turned their music on, but I never went so far as to, like, I wouldn't go to a concert, I wouldn't buy their album, and then
you saw them live at the Gorge, and
it
they blew my fucking
completely
mind. It was awesome.
transformed what I thought of them
Dave
as musicians.
Grohl is
for me too.
Incredible.
No, that was a very transformative process. I'm gonna roll us right into our Good Talk 4, and I like to save. I'm gonna save question number 5 for Rub. But this is gonna be just a really, really fun one. But if you could have all access, hang out with everybody, tickets to Coachella Music Festival or
Burning Man. I really want to go to Burning Man.
Or you got just a setup for Burning Man where there's no headliners. You got a camper, a way in, a camper, and like a B- level encampment at Burning Man. But you got to stick with the grind, the sand, all the ugliness. At Coachella,
you got
you're
A1
AC,
VIP.
You're A1 VIP. You're definitely guaranteed to brush shoulders with some artists.
Right.
You're gonna fucking have cold drinks ready for you at all times.
Yeah.
Or you get a
scum of the earth at Burning Man.
No, a guaranteed cozy spot.
Sure.
A guaranteed cozy spot.
Yeah.
At not tip of the mill, but cozy.
Right.
It's gonna be pretty fucking legit. That's a tough choice because, like, there's man,
The older you get, the more you appreciate the having a good encampment and comfort and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
There
you
is
do.
that.
there is
there is
that.
that.
I love all that.
Yeah. Especially
Um,
after day 3.
I'm telling you, like, I want that Burning Man experience pretty
I do
bad,
too.
and I feel
I
like
want to go to Burning Man.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like if I could be offered a turnkey Burning Man experience,
I'd take it.
so I'm going. We're gonna go. It's like a turnkey Burning Man experience, but no
Right.
guarantees. It's not a VIP thing, but it's pretty turnkey.
Burning Man is so
Or
inclusive.
I mean, I'm talking like, dude, at Coachella though, you'd be getting dialed in to and from
Yeah.
the stages. You're not waiting in line for anything. You're right there on stage.
Yeah.
At the main stage of Coachella, looking out at 70,000 plus fucking people
Right.
looking at you on the stage. They're going to have hologram Tupac up there is going to be doing fucking cartwheels.
well, yeah, they're going to
singing-
have hologram
you know,
Tupac.
Like, what if the Coachella show was hologram Led Zeppelin was headlining? Do I get to know who the Coachella headliners are before I make this choice?
Right.
You know, Burning Man, you're gonna have just a monumentally magical experience beyond what I can even truly understand because I haven't been there.
Right.
I've watched documentaries. I've watched videos.
Yeah.
I've looked at all my friends' pictures. I've personally, truly, I bet I've looked at more than 1,200 Burning Man pictures.
That's pretty
Easily.
realistic, yeah.
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 I looked at quite a few this year too.
Yep, stay up there with it. But so, what do you guys think? The turnkey Burning Man, or
I'm still young enough. I want
Dude.
Burning Man.
I mean, at Burning Man, you might be able to meet like a Jack White. Yeah, I mean, you might.
And the whole,
meet
it's just
like
the whole theme of Burning Man too. Like, no matter where you're camping, no matter who you're with, it's all about inclusivity, and it's all about like, you can wander anywhere. And again, I shouldn't really tell you what you can and cannot do at Burning Man. I've not been there, but they
course.
pride
Just-
themselves on. It's all about inclusivity. So like,
freedom of participation is
yeah,
encouraged.
like you
right?
could,
That's fair.
based
That's a
on
fair
that
thing to say.
mentality, you should pretty much be able to go wherever you want anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can party on Elon Musk's yacht and his art car and everything. That sounds pretty cool.
Those art cars, all those parades.
I do
Insane.
sort of like the grind. I feel like
Sure.
I have endurance and stamina. I want to see the weird in people. I want to observe
The
unique
art.
habits.
Oh my God.
I want to see the art. I want to explore the installations, and there are all
Right.
of those at Coachella. But I would do the turnkey Burning Man.
Yeah, me
I
too.
would.
Yeah, probably. Me
Carl?
3. I would probably do Burning Man
You look
too.
like you're second guessing though. You're
Well,
really
I
deep
mean,
on this.
I know how rough
Like,
it gets sometimes. Like
it
you're out in
does.
the motherfucking desert. I mean, if you got a
'Cause
decent
the
campsite
turnkey
that's
Burning
awesome.
Man is like 8-10 days.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Oh
It's
my
a
God,
dedication.
is it that long?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
it's a grind.
9 days.
I might
I've
be
always
wrong.
heard.
I might be wrong.
I've
I'm
always
looking it
heard
up.
9 days, but
I'm pretty sure it's pushing double-digit days.
right.
Wow, dude, that would
And-
get.
Yeah, and there's no
It's
like promise.
sandstorms. You
Like
have
you're
to
not
wear,
seeing
like,
artists
goggles
there. You know,
and-
there's no guarantee of seeing like some band you love. You're there
Not
for
really,
a
yeah.
different sort of
It's more the experience. again.
cultural experience, a
And,
cultural unity,
experimentation.
Yeah,
on the
those
end.
weird prayer temples and everything
Oh,
that
they
they
get
build.
down.
Yeah, I think that the whole Burning Man experience would definitely be a lot more eye-opening and enlightening. I would go for that. Coachella, I mean, yeah, having all the VIP perks, that would be great. I mean, I've done VIP and Good Life, for a day, and Good Life for all of Electric Forest. That was awesome. Don't regret doing that at
people
all.
swear by that.
Yeah.
People live by it. I saw everybody today on Facebook was freaking out. Electric Forest tickets went on sale today. People are going crazy.
Yeah, because
Oh,
otherwise,
wow.
if you're just in GA, it's like Mad Max over there. It's bad. It's bad. That's what we called it when us
pretty
girls
much
had to go to the
Mad Max.
convenience
Oh,
store. We were like,
fuck.
oh my fucking God, good thing we got Good Life.
Yeah, Burning Man this year is August 27th through September 4th.
Okay.
So that's
So that's
what.
like 7 days, like a week. That's a
And
long
you're-
time to be
well,
on the desert,
and
man.
the thing is, like a week is like usually you get a day early. Like if you're gonna set up early, like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
pre-pass early setup.
The
or
actual
whatever,
event
so-
is the 27th to the 4th. You could probably be there on the 26th. There's
Let-
probably early parties going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking Burning Man, for God's
Let
sake.
me ask each of you this, and we'll let our guest answer first. What is the first and most striking thing that stood out for you at your first festival in the beginning, and what was the most striking thing that stood out for you upon leaving?
Well, Sasquatch would definitely be my first festival. That was all the way back in 2009. I mean, just how huge it was, because we were in overflow then. We didn't really know better that we had to get there early or anything. We were totally noobs to the whole thing. So we were in overflow, and so all the way across the valley on the other hill, you see, 30,000 some tents and cars and people set up, and you're just like, holy cow, like I am in an entire little city that just sets up over the weekend, all for the music. So really wrapping my mind around how huge it was. And I mean, like, big crowds don't scare me or anything, but it was just neat that at any music festival, it's like its own little culture, and you got your neighbors, and you guys help each other out, and it's just really cool. And
it's always so shocking when you walk in. Nothing can prepare you for that.
No, not at all. And that's huge too. Yeah, definitely first seeing, all the stage setups and the main stage. That was definitely the most awe-inspiring thing, was seeing that main stage and just the grandness of the gorge there, Yeah.
How soon did it happen that it felt just different? Like, how soon and how quickly did
I think
social consciousness sort of set in that changed? Rub and I have referenced a organic shift in mentality when that many people gather.
Yeah.
How
swarm
quickly,
behavior, hive
quickly
mentality.
did you identify that?
Well, for me, I mean, I just feel like I'm instantly leveled up, and I am just ready to rock. I'm ready to go out there, meet people, and play.
It's very freeing.
It's a giant adult playground. I've always liked to refer to music festivals as that. And you meet a lot of good people, and there's a lot of weird games and a lot of cool campsites, and you see crazy shit, and it's just really neat. There's nothing else like it. You're not going to find another culture like that. It just sets up and then it's gone, but it's beautiful.
It's like a weird little instant culture.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is way cool.
What was and then upon leaving, then what was the biggest point of reflection as you were on the long drive home, which many of us experienced? 17 hours. What sort of occupied your mind for 17 hours, at least at the start of it, upon having to leave this massive sense of unity and positivity and euphoria, and then suddenly it's pack her up, roll it up, ship is tight, throw your garbage away, let's go.
And you got to return back to your routine in the 9 to 5. Definitely
How big of an elbow drop is reality after that?
Well, going back to North Dakota, it's like, but if we had a cool place that we lived, to go back to, it wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, my first experience, I couldn't wait to go back, and it was just definitely really.
You couldn't wait to go back to another festival?
Exactly, I couldn't wait to go back to another festival, and it was just so heartening, and I just felt so soulfully enriched afterward, that there's just all these other beautiful people out wanting to enjoy a good time, and we sharing the same music, and we all like to get weird. It's what connected us, and it just, I guess, made me feel more courageous in my own spirit to just be weird and be you, and you never know who you're going to meet, but you got to show your weirdness when you're there, because it just, you connect with the right people, the people that you're naturally attuned with, and everybody's just out to have fun for the most part, Yeah. So
it feels like there's a lot of pure intent
there. I guess it made me feel like I could go anywhere and connect with anybody from any walk of life, really. It just made me feel a little bit more worldly, even though you're just within the States. I don't know. I just felt more super, way more super.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a big level up. Rub, what was your first major impression?
The number of people. Nothing, again, I'll come back to it, but nothing can prepare you for that. For seeing that kind of turnout for an event. Until Sasquatch 2011, that was my first festival. I had never experienced or been a part of anything like that on a scale that would even begin to compare.
Mm-hmm.
And, coming into the campground and rounding that corner and really just seeing how it's laid out and the scale of it all.
Because they set up little streets and alleyways.
When we got our same fucking spot the next year, what are the odds, the coincidence of that? That was the year you were with us for your first time.
11.
But the year before, we were in that same spot.
For real?
For reference, what Carl here is saying is that in back-to-back years at Sasquatch
you don't
Music
get to choose
Festival,
your spot.
No, you don't.
we in one year were right on the corner of the edge towards the fence, and then in the following year we were just on the other side of the street, right there.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
right there.
but right on that corner, the corner of Legend and Dairy. he
Yeah,
said.
if
That was our little saying.
listen, if you are someone who ever went to Sasquatch Music Festival and you are one of the few or the many, because we did have a lot, I would say a few hundred people come through anyways. We played big chair trivia. We had
That was
torches.
ingenious.
It was super fucking
was
fun
hippie
and
fishing.
silly.
Yep.
We did some hippie fishing.
A lot of hippie fishing.
Rob, tell everybody who doesn't know what is hippie fishing.
Well, it's like after pretty much after like main stage lets out, you have the mass exodus of thousands of people walking along the trail to get back to the camp or to the campgrounds, and parties start up around campsites and whatnot else, and people start mingling and moving around from campsite to campsite. And if you have a legit campsite and you want to draw people in, while still like having some fun and doing something weird, you just tie like a bit of fishing line to a glow stick and toss that out. Remember, it's dark. Toss that out into where people are walking, and then just, kind of like have your drink and wait. And eventually, inevitably, someone's going to come along and try to pick it up. Well,
Rob
then
used a glow ball though.
Grab.
Yeah, you had a ball.
I made myself a hippie lure.
A hippie
And,
lure. Sorry, hippies.
Yeah, just before
We're
they
hippies
grab
too.
it, pull it in, and they'll laugh. You'll get a laugh out of it,
Dude.
and then you draw them in. Like you said, we're having a party. Come have a drink.
Right.
I got you. Here, have a shot. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And and it probably increased the number of people at our campsite by, I don't know, probably 10, 15 people a night doing that.
Oh yeah,
it
it
was
did.
so much fun.
We had the
met
perfect amount
so
of
many
traffic
fun
there
people
Yeah.
on that
way.
corner.
Well, remember, wasn't there the one guy that like got all
He got
nature
all
National Geographic Explorer and
Steve Irwin
analyzed
accent. Yeah.
He went all Steve Irwin and like analyzed your glow bulb as a creature and was like chased it down. Do you remember that guy?
I
He's
remember
fucking
that guy.
Hilarious. I've always remembered him.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He just went way theatrical with it and played right back with us.
Well, and
That's awesome. I
yeah.
don't remember that. though.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
yeah, it was definitely
It's like what we have here is.
Yeah, look at the colors on him.
Yeah.
gorgeous. Like,
yeah.
oh my god, a multicolored glow ball. Like, he's just, dude,
Seen here in its natural habitat. Like,
yeah,
Crikey.
it just went on for minutes.
yeah,
and we were just in awe.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then I think we all clapped for him afterward, and we're like, "What the fuck's your name? You're awesome."
Yeah,
Hang out."
we set up
Hippie
we
fishing
set
is
up
fun.
a
Yeah.
little we set up a little mannequin one time.
That is my favorite.
It was a child-sized mannequin,
Yes.
and we had it enclosed.
I'm glad I missed that. That
And
little thing is creepy.
We put a beer
You
in its
weren't there
hand.
for that one. It
We
was
put
the
a
year
beer in
after
its
that.
hand,
Yeah.
and we had a two-way
That thing's
walkie-talkie on
fucking
it.
creepy.
Yeah, our
And
Canadian
we put
neighbors.
some lights around
Thank
it.
God
We
they
put
had
some
that.
lights
Neighbors.
around it, and we
Yeah.
put a little chair next to him. And we put a beer
In
in
his
the cup
hand.
holder.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
what we were doing was trying to invite you to sit and have a beer with our fake child mannequin.
And Jeremy did his voice, and he was so hilarious. He was perfect.
So as you'd be walking by, you'd have this psychotic child mannequin. It's got flashing, glowing lights all over.
All
it's got
over
a,
it.
It's got a glowing, flashing mohawk.
Pirate hat,
Glow
yeah.
necklaces. It's got fucking crazy clothes on and like a crazy face of this silly baby face guy that I know named Giles.
Yeah.
And here it is with the beer in its hand drinking and with the chair next to it waiting for you to sit next to him, and we were talking into the microphone really creepily. My cousin Jeremy, he'd be like, "Hello, I'm Giles, baby. Would you like a beer?" And just trying to get people to sit down there, and like people would walk by. Holy fuck, is that a kid? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Like a few people sat down and had conversations with the mannequin. We got
Played
people.
along.
I mean, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It was so entertaining. We did that for
Hours.
an hour. Yeah, hours. Yeah, an hour at
We
least.
literally entertained ourselves for at least a couple hours.
We were really well hidden too.
Yeah.
We were like,
It was all dark where we were.
probably
And we
20 feet
illuminated
behind
and-
him.
Yeah, he was well illuminated.
We're
'Cause
back there snickering in the dark in the shadows.
I mean, dude, until you got close, you didn't know like what the is this a fucking midget inviting me for a beer? Like, is this a child? What's going on here? I can't drink beer with a baby.
Yeah.
Nothing about this is right.
Right. But there's a chair and a beer. I need that.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking, fuck, if there's a little person offering me a seat and a beer, I might as well just see what's going on. And we had the big chair. People would come by our campsite, and we had just guys pass out in our big chair. Just people just passed out in the big chair. Well, then it's like, well, you know, what do you do when everybody at your campsite wants to leave, and you got a veritable stranger passed out in one of your chairs?
Yeah.
Can you leave with him at your campsite?
You see
As much as as much as we all like love one another there and are having this great unifying experience, like, oh fuck, I don't want to just like bail out of my campsite and leave a stranger here, do I? Because there's those dudes, they'll fall asleep right in your campsite.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, for sure they will.
I'll never forget when you were doing big game chair trivia and you're like, all right, name 5 states that start with N. And the girl couldn't get the last one. And you're like, Wyoming. And she's like, Wyoming. Like thinking it's real. Oh, fuck. We laughed. That was so funny. Just all dumb, lighthearted fun. It's so much fun. I mean, that really got the crowd rallied up. Everybody was coming by and having a good time.
Well, it was neat because, somebody would come by our campsite. We'd put them in our big chair, and then we'd ask them a series of trivia questions.
Yep.
And if they would have to get, 2 out of 3 correct?
Yes, exactly.
You had to get 2 out of 3 questions correct.
Yep.
And then we would, like, reward you with, like, a shot or a beer or, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, people were doing it. They were bringing their friends back.
Yeah, they were.
We had the tiki torches next to the big chair, so
Yeah.
it was, like, this ominous thing. But, of course, all of our questions were really simple, kind of pop trivia,
Right.
general trivia type stuff. We weren't trying to get too complex with it, right?
Right. That might have been the beginning of our Good Talk 5, like the conceptual moment.
Right.
Dude, that's a crazy thing to think of.
In
like
utero, Good Talk 5 was actually big talk, or big chair trivia.
Big talk.
round us out with our 5th and final, my friend.
5th and final.
We're gonna round it out here with that.
5th and final.
You choose one of your glorious.
Would you, Carly, rather have a rewind button for your life or a pause button for your life?
Oh,
that's a good one.
I find a little bit more value in the rewind, but how long can I pause things for? What happens? Do I age while it's paused?
Well, that's a good question.
Can I pause everything for... Fuck, man. I'd be like, well, can I pause my day for an hour and get all my shit done while the rest of the world is paused?
Yeah, like
and then,
pause
what
and move
happens
shit
to
around
me?
and make stuff happen.
Yeah, I would assume under those circumstances, you would continue to age. The rest of the world and, in fact, the rest of the universe would be on pause.
I don't want to be responsible for any delayed after effects.
And if you rewind, do you just rewind to go back and experience it again, or do you rewind and you're able to change things?
I feel like you would rewind and then like start from there. But
right.
In the nature and the power of habit, you can go back and rewind with intent as many times as you want, and your habit is still going to rule you.
No.
I don't think the rewind is going to be as valuable as we want it to
Well,
be.
it's just really, you don't necessarily have to change anything. Maybe just for a nostalgia effect of just going back and
rewinding back to
revisiting
any of those awesome festival
beautiful
moments.
things
anything.
that have happened in your life,
Like
just to revisit.
But I'm really reflective. I like the idea of pausing.
What
as
happens
well.
when I rewind? Do I get younger? Am I aging backwards? Am I
guess in that
am I
instance,
rewinding as
you would
me?
You would have to rewind with time.
Do I?
Because I look at it as a way of reliving.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
necessarily
assess here.
So
like,
you would have to go back to be the appropriate age.
If I'm rewinding and I choose to rewind to age 4, do I know what I know now? Or am I just rewinding and resetting without,
Well, then you're then
that
the whole
same state
thing
of
is moot.
consciousness.
Then you're
so
just
I know what I know now.
You'd have
and
to.
I can
You'd have to
rewind.
carry your.
That's fucked up. Then you'd be able to watch your life play out again. You would change your dimension. You'd be shifting a dimension.
Like
at that
butterfly
point.
effect or something.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
shifting a dimension.
You're not going to be able to go back and not change anything because you can't just do everything again
No.
the same way.
No.
That's
I don't think you
impossible.
could.
Not even like if you wanted to. It's. I'm saying it's impossible.
You might be ruled by the habits that have shaped you at that point, but you're going to make decisions based on those earlier, knowing what you already know,
right?
Thus shifting the future trajectory dramatically.
Right.
You could see successes earlier, or despair earlier, or differently. I
Delayed
mean,
after effects all over the place.
I would probably rewind. They're both really powerful, but yeah.
I would just want to pause because I feel like the nature of rewinding is scary.
It is.
I feel like I just want to. I want to live here now with the choices that I've made. I want to accept responsibility for what I've done.
Right.
And if I do want to enable any sort of future change, I don't want to achieve that by rewinding anything. I want to...
And cheating or something.
It's not a cheat code.
You're right.
I want to do it by identifying new and unique ways in which I can overcome the adversity which is holding me down.
To affect the future from here.
And really, I think if you could have time to pause and really reflect on everything around you, you'd have greater opportunities to assess everything, to establish goal sets, to unify your own mindset, and to really just catch your breath once in a while. Fuck.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going pause. For sure, I fucking love that question.
Pause would be good for me.
It's another really zinger.
Pause is good for me.
The implications are too widespread for rewinding.
It is. It gets messy quick.
It does, but I would take back my car accidents and just stupid shit like that, you know?
Yeah, dude, there's no...
That I had a bad feeling about, you know? And, like, my gut told me, and you ignore your gut, and then that happens, and you're like, fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Should have listened to my gut. I knew better, you know?
How often does your gut instinct call out to you? The only way to really know if that's a real thing is that every time you have a gut instinct, you would need to write down that moment and what that instinct was. If you felt like, oh, my gut told me this, you need to start
That's
writing
a lot
that
of
down.
writing.
Right.
No, well, you got to know the moments that really make it twinge, that cause that sort of little butterfly anxiety. It's not like every time you have a panic moment and you think you're going to get drone striked because you had a really cool conversation about manifesting your own consciousness and harnessing new energies that would unify people, because what the fuck would be more scarier to our current embodiment than a unified stance of people?
Right.
And that's what you're preaching, my friend, and that's scary to the powers that be. So
Definitely.
Really, if you want to live in fear, it's of that.
Yeah.
I'll buy that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1.
Doll hair.
No, dude, no.
So pause over rewind.
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause for you guys, rewind for me.
Yeah,
I thought
dude.
pause initially. They're both really
Dude,
powerful.
no,
I
it's-
like
it's-
the idea
it's
of them
all
both.
great
I really
choices.
do.
Yeah. Pause
But,
gives you
I
the
think-
ability to, as soon as you identify a beautiful moment, too, to kind of make it last.
I
potentially forever.
definitely...
Like, how many times have you found yourself in like the perfect set and setting and in
Yeah.
the perfect mood, and you're just and you roll over in your mind, oh, if this could only last forever.
Yeah.
Well, hypothetically speaking, with the right type of pause button, it would.
Right. Yeah, that's
Because
huge.
In those moments, if you rewound it, it wouldn't be lasting forever. You'd just be resetting it. It would become
It's
something
still
else.
just as
so you're
fleeting.
still trying to find that floating point, whereas pause can nail down that floating point.
And you can really marinate in it. Yeah.
No, that's
That is a beautiful idea.
really that's kind of the way I would assess it at that point, that it really comes back to the balance that we all want to achieve in life, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the unifying principles of balance that you've established, Carly Ann? I know you sort of have a passion for numerology. A lot of people aren't familiar with it, and I don't want to put you on the spot because you're by no means an expert, but it's something you've
Right.
studied over your life, right? Numerology,
Well,
you're very familiar with.
I'm much more adept at astrology, but
Okay.
numerology ties into astrology, which led into my interest in that because they weave together. But I'm definitely, more well-versed in astrology. But numerology's great. I mean, I connected it with it a lot. And, a lot of the times when I do reflect, I turn to my books. And I turn to my books and I reflect, and it's great.
Well, what are some of the
basics of it?
What are the principles, I guess, then, of like astrology that have
like,
helped you, or
coming from somebody who would know nothing. Just
Right.
you've connected with like what stood out? Why do you think it helps you? What shapes it? Like, what do you?
I think a lot of people, like to take quizzes on what their personalities are like. There's also the Enneagrams. That's like 9 different personality types. They're all, name something, and that doesn't have anything to do with numbers. It's just the type of person you are and the characteristics you fall into. And you could be one of something, but you could have like your sub-rulers too, and astrology is a lot like that too. You have your sun sign, but then a lot of people don't know about a natal chart. A lot of people know the generic stuff, and a lot of it does seem generic. There's a lot of bogus horoscopes out there. My interest really started reading horoscopes in the newspaper over at Grandma Helen's, and then I just thought, all right, here's my horoscope. What's my sister's? What's my parents? Like, do ours tie in together? And it would talk about the alignment of the planets and how the alignment of the planets also had a general theme over the entire zodiac, all the 12 signs and everybody within it. So I thought that was fascinating, that there's a theme each day or each week, a certain energy. So I just wanted to know more about it. But yeah, you have your natal chart. So based upon what time you were born and the placement of the planets in the heavens and the constellations at the time, where it all lines up. Like the Chili Peppers, they have this album Stadium Arcadium, and they have planets all over it, and there's Jupiter and Mars, and I wonder what that all meant. But to me, I related it to astrology. Like, it's just one big Stadium Arcadium up there, like a big, you imagine the constellations like a big pinball machine and all these energies playing off each other up there. I just really like that analogy.
And to be clear, so you believe, based upon when someone was born, that you can identify what?
A lot about them.
Why do you think that's real?
I guess I've spent a lot of time on it, so I've reflected a lot on it. And I mean, I guess if you believe in something enough, you do convince yourself to relate to it. But it just always hit home for me, and I just always found it really fascinating. Like, I'm a Leo, that's my sun sign, but I have
examples, not your confirmation bias, but
right.
examples of how have you seen characteristics of astrology translate into how people are in real life?
I play on the dynamics of like relationships with people. Like, you and Rob have a good natural affinity. Well, you're both air signs, right? And you have a 5 vibe between you. Gemini and Libra do. Like, there's the 4 elements, and the 3 signs fall into the 4 elements to make up the 12 in the zodiac, right? And so Gemini and Libra have a 5 vibe, and like a Libra with a Libra would have a 1 vibe, and I think a Gemini with Aquarius would have a 7 vibe, and like, so those tie into numerology and like what that number means and what it resonates on. But 5 is really friendly. 7 is like any polar opposite. I don't know. Where am I going with this?
That's actually really fascinating.
It is really
brilliant.
cool. And also the planets tie into numbers as well. I guess it's just easier for me to see how it translates with myself, but I also really pay attention to the dynamics and the people around me, and I know that like what their relationships are like. And I like to say like our parents, I know it seems kind of idealistic and romantic, but like they're literally star-crossed lovers. Like, they are exactly opposite on the wheel of each other.
How so?
Because
I don't know what you're saying.
So
when you
mom
say
is
that.
January 21st, and
Rob has
Dad,
no idea what you're saying. When
and
you say
Dad
that.
is July
Me neither.
21st, right? So they each fall on the cusp. Like, there's 48 periods in a year. They break it down into weeks when it gets into personology, which is much, much more specific. But like mom and dad, for example, like I was saying, they're exact polar opposites. Like, they're both 21s. They both have the same tarot card that lines up with that number, which is the world. And mom is Capricorn Aquarius, and then Capricorn's polar opposite is Cancer, and also Aquarius's polar opposite is Leo, and dad is Cancer Leo. So they are exact opposite on the wheel. It's like every sign
and that's
has
where that term star-crossed lovers comes from.
Well,
right?
no, I don't know, honestly. It could be, definitely.
It's really romantic if that's true.
I like to
that's
pin
really
it to
cool.
them.
I can dig the hell out of it.
I like
really
to
can.
pin it to them, for sure, I do.
Well, Carly Ann, when you meet somebody and you learn,
It's funny. I like before.
when you learn their sign, you know it. You just knew Rob's right now.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that she knew your sign, Rob?
I was not ready for that.
Oh,
Right?
but it's weird, you guys. Like, I test my memory.
That's awesome.
It's huge.
So-
I test my memory, and so like an easy way for me to test my memory was with all of this astrology shit. But then
Sure.
like, but numbers too. Like,
Let me
I
ask you
will
this a
remember
little bit
your
more.
birthday forever.
And-
I will ask you your birthday before I even want to ask you your first name.
Something
Not
cool.
to judge you, but I just like.
No, it's
Right,
fine.
right,
No, I
right.
love it. Something
That's
cool
super cool.
for Rob and myself and maybe our listeners, since you know a little bit about our signs. What do you mean by our signs are unifying? You said he's an air sign and I'm an air sign, so it's no wonder we're doing this.
On the air.
Yeah,
on the-
yeah, right.
like,
well, the
You
communicators.
know, just as best as you can, Not to put you on the spot, but what do you mean by that? For
well,
people who don't know.
I mean, really, really
Why
basic.
are we working so good together?
Really, really basic, breaking it down, like air is the mental sign, the most mental sign of the zodiac, and, related with broadcasting and networking and connecting and just the really mental aspects of the human. And then you have your fire signs, and they're a much more initiative, or you just have a higher initiative and more action-oriented, passionate. And then you have your water signs, a lot more murky, a lot more emotional, poetic. Musicians like that fall into that element more often, they see over time. And then earth, the more grounded and fortified and stubborn and stable of the zodiac. They just all carry these basic characteristics. But a natal chart is really fascinating. And it's actually the book you got me forever ago, the only astrology book you'll ever need, Joni. It was like a Christmas gift one year. And in there, that's when I discovered the charts, right? So you can chart yourself. Like, I'm a Leo, that's my sun sign. That's the core of me. And then you have your two other main, sub-main ones, which is your rising sign. And mine is Taurus, for example. And then you have your moon sign, and that's how you are very much emotionally. Like, you're not just emotionally like a Leo. I'm emotionally very much like an Aries. That is my moon sign. Like, you have the moon of a Leo, I'm pretty sure. And so, you have a natural affinity with your wife, JC. She's a Leo. You just have a natural affinity with them according to that. And then you have a sign in all 9 planets as well. So Venus is the planet of love, Jupiter is the planet of luck. This Jupiter I really like to use for an example with people too, because it being the planet of luck, so whenever the sun is transiting through, my Jupiter is in Cancer, so anytime the sun is through a water sign in that year, those are my lucky periods of the year, my luckiest. So it's always March and July and November that are my lucky months. And I mean, you could say, it's a placebo effect, but really over time, those are always my greatest months. I always land the job that I want. I win a drawing. I win Packers tickets. I win a drawing for a free bike.
So you have examples in your life when you, during your astrologically aligned lucky periods, you have moments in your life where you've had great
just dumb,
victory.
Stupid, awesome luck. Yeah,
that kind
totally.
Of thing really blows my mind in an extra big way because I'm very
Rob,
science-minded.
let's hear your thoughts on this.
I'm very science-minded. I like evidence. I like measurements, and I like science. So,
right.
But these things, you can't deny them that they actually there are correlations.
They're
these things
exactly
actually
they correlate.
I'm not for 1 second denying. It's just that I have to go against my personality that says this isn't science. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all confirmation bias. It's all placebo effect. Well, the fact is, statistically speaking, these things actually sort of kind of do make sense. It's just that we can't explain why.
No, we really can't explain why. I guess.
I mean, is.
When did they start doing it? How did they make sense of it? The ancients, way long ago.
Right.
But it makes sense, or maybe they had some hidden knowledge from whoever.
It's possible that they
put them
can
here.
explain why. It's just that their explanation wouldn't jive with anything that is measurable by modern science, and that's where I have to go outside my personality,
right.
But I'm recognizing the correlations there. I am saying that there is a statistical bump having to do with these types of
and
things.
I watched this documentary on Tesla a while ago, and he was huge into numerology. I mean, we all know that guy was just a mad genius,
Yeah, he's a cuckoo bird, too.
He was obsessed, I guess, with the numbers 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah, big time.
And Tesla would walk around his apartment building, the one that he passed away, and he would walk around the building 3 times before entering that building. I think he did that with any building. He would walk around it 3 times before entering the building, which seems really cuckoo.
Right.
But he did that. 3, 6, and 9. Those were his numbers. I mean,
there was a quote, if you understood the correlation between 3, 6, and 9, you'd understand the keys to the universe or something to that effect.
That was one of his.
Yeah,
that does ring a bell. Yep. It's been a while since I watched that documentary, but yep, I've heard that. And then you have your master numbers like 11, 22, 33. I mean, I'm born on 11s. Everybody has their favorite number for whatever reason, and 11's always been mine because I'm born on the 11th.
Do you have a favorite number?
9.
Really?
Yeah.
Highest number of change.
Yeah, numerology.
0 through just like I actually kind of like came up with that one on my own.
How?
Probably around 13, 14 years old. I just 0 through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. They're all new. Like, but after 9,
It's back to
it's just the same damn numbers again on to infinity.
right.
9 is the last new number.
That's how they do the numerological alphabet too. It just goes 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9. So to find out like your soul number and all these numbers like within your name has a number because each letter goes with the number in the alphabet. It just goes 1 through 9, 1 through 9 in order. And so you can just add up your name because you can turn the letters into numbers and you just add up your name to find out what your number is. Like I think I add up to a 2. Not with my name, like with my birthday, but you have like 5 different numbers or something. I don't own the book, but I borrowed it from our cousin Krista, The Idiot's Guide to Numerology, and that's really, really fascinating stuff. Like you have your soul number, you have your pinnacle number, which changes throughout your life, and a few others.
Do you find that perhaps knowing the destination of somebody's astrology, are you sort of like self-prohibiting your mind to be susceptible to wanting to identify these characteristics, or do you
like
feel
a
like they
placebo
really
effect
ring
or
true?
something?
Yeah.
I feel like they ring
Not like so simply as a placebo effect, but we are, again, we are very, as humans, subject to a lot of confirmation bias.
Mm-hmm.
We fall into habits. If you start to read about a Gemini having certain characteristics, you read about it, you see it, you start to associate habits with it. Then even when 1 or 2 don't associate with those same traits,
right.
you can just kind of cast them to the side. Or like, how do you feel? It felt like that has kind of played into it.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair. Like they say, like
has it given you a stronger affinity to know people, or has it given you a stronger affinity to be fooled by people?
I think to know people. I think to know people for sure. I mean, you use your own better judgment. You can't relate it all to this pseudoscience, so to speak. But I don't know, like the most fascinating one was the personology book. I mean, these guys went around and they did a 40-year study on thousands of people born on the same days throughout the entire year. Like
the
that's
personology
fucking
book is
huge.
Found correlations.
Phenomenal.
It's huge. I brought these books today. They have 3 editions now. I pretty much have the birthday one memorized.
What's the personology book? I would like to reference that. Just go ahead and grab that real quick if you could. I haven't.
They found correlations.
I haven't read it in its entirety,
Oh
but
my God,
I've
it's the
read
coolest ever.
major chunks of it.
Like I'm the
And
day of.
it is so phenomenal.
Do you want your
That's a
page or
hell
what
of
do
a
you
No,
want?
just
Holy crap.
Who wrote it? Is it just what's it called?
It's Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers. They're the writers of it. Yeah. And it's The Secret Language of Birthdays, personality profiles for each day of the year. Then they also have another edition, which is The Secret Language of Relationships, where they see here's how they'll have their days that are broken down, the personified days individually, and then they have the weeks. So I'm not just a Leo, I'm a Leo 3 because I fall in the 3rd week of being a Leo before it becomes the Leo-Virgo cusp, which our little Taylana would fall into the Leo-Virgo cusp. And I'm the week of leadership. And in the relationship book, they have those weeks compared.
Rob,
I thought.
when were you born?
10/16.
Oh, go to his day.
Okay.
Right, real quick here. We're gonna play an experiment.
Yeah, and what I love about this, I mean, it's not generic.
fun.
It's really in
No,
depth.
no,
It's
no,
so
this is
in
fun.
depth.
This book
They can't
is
just make this
phenomenal.
up. And
What I'm getting at is
they talk about
when they really get to a person's day. I've watched a lot of people pick this book up, and
Right.
everyone wants to go to their day and
Right.
see how it
Sure.
works in correlation with them.
You see a lot of jaws dropping.
No, there's
or-
a ton
yeah,
of
most
points.
of the time. Mhm.
There's a ton of points, but read just kind of like you can't read the entire thing, but you know the book well.
Okay.
What are the highlights for Rub's day of birth?
Well,
what is your day of birth again, so everyone knows?
October 16th.
Okay.
The basics I always start with if I show someone this book is the strengths and the weaknesses. And typically each page has 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses. You have a meditation quote, you have advice, you have health, tarot, numbers and planets, and then you have your day title. And, a good amount of paragraphs there just about who you are. But they go into the more highly evolved, the less highly evolved, and just who you are. And it's just really neat. There's more about you than in this book, of course, but I think that there's a lot that could hit home.
Sure.
Because that's why it resonated with me so
This
deeply.
is not
I
an
was
absolute
like,
definition.
holy shit.
No.
Yeah. But, read the highlights for...
So first, of course, the title of your day is the Day of Essential Judgment. And your strengths, discriminating, practical, and fair. And weaknesses, prickly, defensive, and difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So far, piece by piece, how's that so far?
What were my strengths again?
Discriminating, practical, and fair.
You assess things.
I have a strong
carefully.
affinity for fairness, for sure.
Practical.
And that's a natural Libra thing, too. The
I-
scales, the balance,
I would
relationships.
call that a pass on you right there. That's a thumbs up.
Okay.
That's
and
I think that's-
maybe I'm better off being analyzed by someone who knows me rather than trying to analyze myself.
Yeah,
Self-analysis is cloudy.
It's
Right,
fine,
mine is
but
for sure.
You associate with some of those. All right, what's next?
The meditation, I like that one a lot too. It's like, how do they figure out what your meditation is? It's kind of neat. Trust someone not for what they say, but because, like a bridge, you can venture out on them without fear of collapse. And I can go into the opening paragraphs here. The theme of judgment is a central focus in the lives of October 16th people. They are often found pondering decisions, either professional or personal. Being able to size up a situation and grasp the essence of it seems to come naturally to them. They are... shadows on the way here.
No, keep going. This is good.
Yeah, they are not overly judgmental people in the sense of having preconceived ideas or prejudices, demanding adherence to their personal morality, or being unaccepting or closed. On the contrary, those born on this day are generally quite liberal and available for all sorts of new ideas and discussion. Their judgment of things around them is more of an objective evaluation, being able to assess someone or something's worth or utility in real terms.
Stop right there. How's it sound so far, Rob?
That's pretty damn good.
It's
And
pretty
I mean,
fucking
the
good.
farther
isn't
down
it?
the page,
good.
the deeper it gets. It gets into like how you are emotionally.
It gets so
and-
potent.
Yeah, so
Sure.
I could skip around if you want, or I could read the whole thing. I really don't mind.
No,
It's up to you
just
guys.
read another. Like pick another highlight if you can. You know the book. Like just pick another. What I always like that right hand side. Wasn't the right hand
Do
side
you
pretty
the
cool?
numbers and planets, the tarot, all
Kinda.
that? Well, that's that. Yeah,
or
with
even just like the other.
that's the famous notables.
Okay.
It's always neat seeing like the famous notables.
Angela Lansbury,
Yeah.
Tim Robbins,
But
Minute Bowl.
so and this is now again the book of personology, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's phenomenal. So I've always found, as much as I have watched people look at this book and try to self-evaluate, man, it's so accurate.
Right.
I'm not. Is it definitive? Who can say? When we reference the science of it, if you will, does science have to be successful 100% of the time to be proven as science, or does it?
That's sort of the point of science.
So 8 out of 10 times it doesn't give you a passing grade.
That would not be a law.
Okay.
It would beg further investigation.
Sure.
Of course, that would be statistically significant, and would point towards a strong theory. But
Statistically, there's a lot of
there's
association.
There's a bump there. Yeah. We can't explain it.
No.
But there's a lot of things we can't explain, in the universe.
But I wonder if you could look at this book and maybe if you met somebody and you knew what their birthday was. Do you
Right.
think like you could probably read this book and
I've gone back tons of times and like find out a person's birthday, and then I'll like go read the book, if I'm interested. And definitely if it relates or not. I
it's
just
super
think
interesting.
It's way cool.
I've always thought it was powerful. I think that perhaps any tool that can help us as people shift our paradigm and grow into new heights and alter our habits and create new habit loops. And when our new habit loops are created, it affects and it creates offspring, and we can thus affect change all the way around us, and it will happen like a beautiful little snowflake extending into the world and creating happy little people everywhere. And that, my friends, is what we want to see here on The Good Talk. And I love you for listening to us. I want you to find us on Twitter at The Good Talk 5. Please, if you can get through all the fuckery, find us on iTunes. It's The Good Talk. All one word. Subscribe, review us. We love you. That was a good talk, my friends.
Good talk.
Good talk.